All right, BobalosRex here, and today I wanted to talk about the Darkmoon Faire. Now, if you don't know, the Darkmoon Faire is up this week. All right, and it's a pretty cool weekly, or not weekly, monthly. It's a mix between it's a world event / holiday. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is I think the Darkmoon Faire is long due for like an update or something. All right, and I wanted to talk about some stuff I would like to see if we got a Darkmoon Faire update. So this is for, if Blizzard's listening, or for anyone else, if you want to see some stuff done for the Darkmoon Faire, I'm making this for y'all. So, first off, if you don't know, the Darkmoon Faire has a rep, and they haven't really been going back and doing account-wide reps for a while. So the first thing I'd want to do is get a Darkmoon Faire renown. All right? Either incorporate the old rep, maybe give us a couple of levels, and then we can grind it up the rest of the way with everyone else. Or completely new renown, the old rep's still there. Gets easier with all the new stuff that's going to be added, hopefully. In my dream scenario, they're not doing anything. I hope they do something with the Darkmoon Faire. But yeah, so renown track, new renown track, ideally, with a bunch of goodies, mount, titles, decor, and then that leads into, my next point, new prizes. We got Darkmoon Faire tickets. All we got mainly is the old dungeon transmog right here. Here's all we got. So we've been sitting on the same rewards for years now. I'm trying to think of when the last reward was added to this. It had to have been a long time. We got the dirigible, the dancing bear. Like, this is so old at this point. I would love to see new Darkmoon Faire rewards, mounts, pets, Darkmoon Faire transmog. I'm pretty sure there's some of those Darkmoon Faire horses and transmog sets colors that haven't been used sitting in the data. I'd love to see them used. And decor. Darkmoon Faire decor. We got housing now. I want Darkmoon Faire decor. Alright, I know there's got to be some people with me that want Darkmoon Faire decor. Alright, what else? New minigames. Here's the thing. Think about all the World Quest minigames we've had since Legion. The barrels. We just had to do that for Legion Remix, where you got to follow the barrel. You had the lights out stuff. We had some of the stuff in Kazalgar, right? All those World Quest mini games, right? The little things. I would love to see some of those incorporated and become new mini games in the Darkmoon Faire. I'm trying to think of, like, the Turtles, the Tortolan shell games. Why isn't there Tortolan on Darkmoon Faire Island doing a shell game? Right? I'm gonna get really into it here. Let's just get into it here. There's some, like, Tortolan showing up, Tuskar showing up, the Artisans Consortium I'm gonna talk about in a bit, but it would be cool to see more groups pull up games on the island, right? More people incorporated to the Darkmoon Faire. And since we're on the topic, I was talking about World Quest Light Quest. Maybe we see the island expanded, right? Maybe we see World Quests on the island. Maybe we got the races. Yeah, we got the races around the island, over here. We got these races. Maybe we see the Sky Masters, Andaristrez, and them set up a Darkmoon Faire world quest. So every month when the Darkmoon Faire pops up, there's the couple of world quests you can do. Maybe they rotate halfway through the week. Get some Darkmoon Faire tickets. You know, nothing big, like repping Darkmoon Faire tickets. You know, stuff like that. Just little things. You know, to make it seem interesting, maybe to liven up the island. You know, and that new quest line. You know, Darkmoon Faire has always had the old god connection. Everyone's saying, or Blizzard saying old gods are dead. A lot of us are thinking, yeah, right. You know, maybe we get some quest line here. You know, the warlocks pulled up on the island in the off season. You know, maybe this island can get some out of season stuff going on it for everyone. Or at least be... I'm pretty sure warlocks can come back here. Imagine if everyone can just come back here and it's just empty, but it's still here. It would be... I think that would just be cool for, like, RP reasons. Maybe you can, though, now, with the warlock stuff. I know warlocks can. And maybe add a new secret quest, because there is the map here that you can get from fishing. And do that secret quest. So that was always a thing that I thought was cool. Where you go into the cave. I think there should be some more secret quests. You know. Maybe the mine seekers. That's what I'm saying. I'm starting to believe. I think it'd be really cool to see more groups pull up to the island. In a way now. You know. So... it gets more people to experience the Darkmoon Faire. And one of the big things that I hope people know about the Darkmoon Faire, but I do want to make sure y'all know, is professions, right? Professions got a lot of stuff going on here. You can basically get some free skill ups, get some free skill points. You know, since they added profession specs and stuff. So that's always been great. But again, the Darkmoon Faire's been here gathering dust. And at this point, I think it needs some love. And some of these quests are easier than others. You know, the gathering ones are super easy. But like, compare engineering to leatherworking. If you're a leatherworker, you gotta not only... remember to have bought stuff from a trades goods vendor before you come here. Otherwise, you got to go back to your main city. But yeah, comparing that to engineering is such a hassle, right? Compare that to leatherworking. You just need a couple of dyes, right? Whereas, like I was saying, with leatherworking, you need bright baubles, blue dye, coarse thread. And I think it would be good for Blizzard to equalize these profession quests. If they do a Darkmoon Faire update, you know, maybe make all of them completable on site. You know, if you need something from a vendor, maybe make it like the alchemy one of the items is just fizzy fair drink, right? So maybe for the skinning one, you got to go get Darkmoon thread or stitches or stuff like that. So you go around the island to get stuff for it. And like I said, if we get the Artisans Consortium involvement, we can really build up this island, right? Legitimize this island a little more with these different groups, the Tortolan, the Tuskar. And, right, if there are really the secretive old god connections, I still think that would work too. We can still have this creepy fair if these other groups get involved, because it would be Silas being a businessman, right? It'd be like, hey, you know, the old gods are laying low or down and out. It's like, hey, let me expand this island, you know? And if we are going to get a return of a certain old god, it would be good for this island to get an upgrade for them. All right. But that's basically it. I would love to see the Darkmoon Faire get upgraded. It's been so long since we've seen anything done with it, in my opinion. So, real quick recap of what I've been wanting. Renown track, new collectibles, mount transmog decor. There's tons of freaking stuff they need to do. New mini games, world quest, maybe dragon racing. Yo, maybe a drive race. Yo, I think that would be cool. Get the goblins involved. Like I said, you get more groups involved that we've seen. Like the Darkmoon Faire basically goes public and is seeking investors, right? And then the Artisans Consortium invests in the profession trainers here. The Tortolan invests in the mini games and souvenirs. You know, the goblins invest in the races. The dragons come over and yeah, we'll have a dragon race. We like flying around places. I think that'd be really cool. And one of the things with the professions here, would be work orders. Maybe when the Darkmoon Faire is up, there's extra work orders thematic to the Darkmoon Faire. They give tickets, right? You know? I think that would be cool. And yeah, if they had an out of season area on the Darkmoon Faire Island, so like so say when the Darkmoon Faire is gone, right? Say right now you want to do the Darkmoon Faire to get your profession skill points, and if you don't do it for the month, you miss out. What if, right, you don't miss out? Unless, so the Darkmoon Faire goes for the week, right? So you miss doing the quest then. I think there should be a way to do it out of season. And it's still monthly. It's still a monthly quest. But you can do it out of season. So say you missed that week for whatever reason, real life, whatever, you can do it another week. It's just different. Maybe it's harder. Maybe you do gotta buy resources for it out of season. But I think it'd be cool to allow people to do that specifically, the profession stuff, if the Darkmoon Faire wasn't up, so they don't feel like they missed out. Alright? But other than that, what do y'all think? Do y'all think they should just leave the Darkmoon Faire as it is? Do you think... Some people say the Darkmoon Faire... I think at one point I may have talked about the Darkmoon Faire being a whole patch zone. And at this point, I just think it should get updated as an event. Like a full-on event / holiday to get more people out here. Because yeah, how many people know you want to come out here for your professions? How many people know about all the collectibles, the old dungeon sets, right? Did y'all know the old dungeon sets were here? Some people do. You know, there's even like Scarlet Transmog. If you have the Scarlet Tabard, there's that Quartermaster that sells some stuff. So there's a lot of like good stuff at the Darkmoon Faire. But at this point, it's been gathering so much dust. And in my opinion, long overdue for an update. Especially the zoo. I mean, come on. Let's update it. Alright. Anyways, that's it for now. Thank y'all for listening. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.